All right, so let's talk about LeBron James. When you think of him, it's so much more than just a basketball player, right? His story, it's like this epic four-act play. You've got pressure, you've got controversy, redemption, and a legacy that honestly is still being written. This is how a kid from Akron, Ohio became King James.
And it really all kicks off with moments just like this one. You know the one, the pregame chalk toss. It's pure theater, right? It became a signature all over the world. But think about it. It's also the perfect symbol of the insane amount of pressure, almost suffocating expectations that were put on his shoulders from the second he hit the national stage. He wasn't just another player. He was an event.
And that right there, that's really what this is all about. This quote, it just nails it. The hype was totally unprecedented, but what's really insane is that he somehow, some way, actually exceeded it. So, the question is, how'd he do it?
All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Our story starts in Akron with what felt like a prophecy. You know, the tale of the kid who was just destined for greatness.
But you know that destiny? It was anything but guaranteed. His childhood was tough, really tough. He was born to a single mom who was only 16, and they were constantly moving from one apartment to the next. Real stability only kicked in when his mom, Gloria, made this incredibly hard choice to let him live with his youth football coach's family, the Walkers. And it was that coach, Frank Walker, who first put a basketball in his hands.
And man, once he got that ball in his hands, everything changed. By the time he was in high school, he wasn't just some local star. He was a full-blown national phenomenon. And this magazine cover, think about this for a second. A high school junior on the cover of Sports Illustrated, being called the Chosen One, that had never happened before. His games were being broadcast on ESPN nationally. The hype machine was just completely out of control before the kid could even legally drive. So yeah, there was basically zero doubt about what was going to happen next. He was picked #1 overall in the 2003 draft by, who else? His hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. It was the perfect story, right? The prophecy was coming true. The local kid was coming home to save the franchise.
And from day one, he was just brilliant, an absolute superstar right out of the gate. Rookie of the Year, then a two-time league MVP. He even managed to drag that Cavaliers team to their first ever NBA Finals in 2007. But for all the personal trophies, that one thing, the ultimate prize, a championship, it was always just out of reach. And that pressure to bring a title home, it was just massive, and it was getting bigger every single year.
And that constant pressure, that expectation cooker, you could call it, well, it all boiled over and led to maybe the most polarizing moment of his entire career. This is where the villain arc begins.
Wow, those were the words that changed everything. It happened on this live one-hour TV special called The Decision. LeBron James told the entire world he was leaving his hometown team to go play for the Miami Heat. It was like an earthquake hit the sports world. No one could believe it.
And the backlash, oh, it was instant and it was brutal. That whole TV special was seen as this huge narcissistic spectacle, but the anger went way deeper than that. See, he wasn't just leaving, he was teaming up with other huge stars. It felt like a total rejection of that old-school idea that the real champion wins it on his own. The Cavs owner wrote this vicious open letter. You had fans literally burning his jersey in the streets, and even guys like Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson were publicly criticizing him. In an instant, the Chosen One became the most hated athlete in America.
But here's the thing. Instead of backing down from all that hate, LeBron just leaned into it. He embraced being the villain. Down in Miami, he joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, creating one of the first real super teams of the modern era. And the goal wasn't a secret. It was simple. Win championships. Lots of them. If you're going to be the bad guy, you might as well win, right?
So, did it work? Was he successful? Well, this number pretty much says it all. 2. In the 4 years he was in Miami, LeBron went to the NBA Finals every single year. He won 2 championships and picked up 2 Finals MVP awards along the way. The villain had his rings, and the decision, as hated as it was, had basically been proven right. But that's not where the story ends. Not even close, because winning those rings wasn't quite enough. There was still a promise that he hadn't fulfilled. And that brings us to Act 3, the homecoming. Then, in a move that honestly shocked the sports world just as much as the first one, he announced he was coming back. Back to Cleveland. Back to the very team and city he'd left so publicly. But this time, no TV special. Just a simple, heartfelt essay. And the reaction couldn't have been more different. It was almost all positive. The king was back in his kingdom. So you gotta ask, why come back? Well, this number right here is the reason why.
52. That's how many years the city of Cleveland had gone without winning a single championship in any major professional sport. It was like a curse on the city. So LeBron's promise, it wasn't just to the Cavaliers, it was to all of Northeast Ohio.
And what happened next? Well, it's the absolute climax of his entire career story. The 2016 NBA Finals. They're down 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, a team that had just set a record by winning 73 games. I mean, no team in the history of the finals had ever come back from being down 3-1. It was supposed to be impossible. But LeBron just would not let them lose. He puts up back-to-back 41-point games to force a Game 7. And in that final winner-take-all game, he delivers a triple-double and makes maybe the most famous defensive play in NBA history to win it all. Promise kept, curse broken. Just incredible.
So after delivering on that ultimate promise, the story changes again. The final act takes him to Hollywood, where it's no longer about promises, it's about chasing history itself. So in 2018, he signs with the iconic Los Angeles Lakers. And his agent said it best. This move wasn't really about winning another ring or keeping another promise. This was about legacy, about his business ventures, and just about doing what he wanted to do. I mean, at that point, he'd earned the right to write his own ending, right?
And that ending has been pretty spectacular. He led the Lakers to a championship in 2020, which made him the only player ever to win a Finals MVP with 3 different teams. Then, in 2023, he broke the one record nobody thought could be broken. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer, a record that stood for almost 40 years. And then, in 2024, something really personal and really special. He got to share an NBA court with his own son, Bronny. A first in the history of the league. So when it's all said and done, when that final buzzer sounds, what's his legacy going to be? Well, it's pretty clear it's about a lot more than just being an amazing athlete.
Of course, you can't talk about LeBron without talking about the GOAT debate, right? The greatest of all time. In one corner, you've got LeBron's insane longevity, his ability to do everything on the court, and of course, being the all-time leading scorer. In the other corner, you have Michael Jordan's perfect 6-0 record in the finals, his defensive dominance, and just his status as a global icon. Honestly, it's a debate that's probably never going to end.
But maybe that whole GOT debate kind of misses the bigger picture, because his impact goes so far beyond the basketball court. He started the I Promise School back in his hometown of Akron. It's a public school for at-risk kids. And get this, he has said himself that the school is his single most important professional accomplishment. Think about that. More than the championships, more than the MVP awards.
And on top of that, he completely changed the business of the NBA. Remember the decision? For all the hate it got, it was really the first big move in what we now call the era of player empowerment. As this quote says, he fundamentally flipped the power balance. He gave the star players a level of control over their own careers that they just never had before. He made free agency a must-see TV event and basically normalized the idea that the biggest stars could and should control their own destiny.
So we're left with this question. What is his ultimate legacy? Is he the greatest basketball player we've ever seen? Or is he something else entirely? An athlete who truly transcended his sport, who remade the league in his own image, and who used his incredible platform to create real, lasting change? Well, I guess that's for us and for history to decide.